Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the video lab. Or book lab, whatever. And in preparing for my next series of videos, I was reorganizing a bunch of my books in totes, putting them in better totes, trying to give them a better home, and came across my rock art books. I probably got two or three other, well, I think it's three. I got three other rock art books, but they are not as, and several books that have rock art in them, petroglyphs and pictographs, but I chose just these two to make it short, and they're very good. And you'll see why I'm gravitating to a certain type of petroglyph. It's, I have a certain thing that I want, a topic thread, if you will, that I'm working with. So anyway, I got these two books here, Legacy on Stone, Indian Rock Art of the Southwest, which we'll explain a little bit more later. And I've also got a bunch of these copies that I made from other people's books. And I've just got a few, and these are fragile because they went through a fire, and they're still usable somewhat. But I had like 60 more of these that just burned up in the fire that I was absolutely unable to replace. As I was traveling out west and staying with some of my friends who had massive book collections themselves, I would see what they had for rock art, and if there was something in there exciting that I thought very interesting, I would make a copy of it. And I had a bunch of them, a lot of them, and they all got burned up in '08. So I've just got a handful of them here. And I wish I had those, but it was just a combination of like 3 or 4 of my good friends and probably creme de la creme of maybe 30 books of rock art pieces. So anyway, let's jump into it. This is going to be a diversion, a little sideways, and we'll see where it goes. I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be short, to the point. Have fun. Let's have some fun. This is the front cover of the first book I'm going to be featuring. Indian Rock Art of the Southwest. And this is written by Polly. This is her last name. I'll leave that up to you. And it was first published in 1980. My copy is from 1995. And it's put out by a School of American Research Book is the name of the publishing company. And after you see what I'm going to show you in this book, you're going to want to get one. You're going to keep your eyes open for something like this. This is just a fantastic book. Absolutely fantastic. And this figure here in the middle, he could be as much as 12 feet tall. And what I'm going to be focusing in on are protrusions coming out of the head, the top of the head, in these petroglyphs. You didn't think I was just going to keep it normal, would you? And also, we're going to be looking at more of these medallions coming around here. This guy could be really huge. I'm going to pick up on page 37, and I'm going to introduce you to an ancient Picasso. And we're going to look at some of them, and these are generally around 2 feet in diameter or 2 feet large. But we're going to be seeing some of the most abstract ancient art ever known. Ever known. And what is this? What is this of? Can you tell me? Is that an owl? Is in your wildest imagination? And then how many lifetimes did this Picasso spend? All of these are at the same place. I'm going to be explaining that. Look at all these O's that he has put in. He's making circles. And just to flaunt it in front of it. Remember, this is carved in stone. And right next to these circles is this abstract here. How many hours were spent carving these in stone? Hard stone, too. And all of this part that I'm showing you comes from a place in Arizona called Growler Mountain, Yuma County, but some say another county. Who knows? Let's look at it. This is the Growler Mountain Range right here in southwestern Arizona. It's like 23 miles long. It's over 3,000 feet above sea level. And here you see it's about 10, 15 miles from Ajo. And there's no real roads that go anywhere near it. It's just a very desolated place out in the middle of the desert. So what did this guy drink? What did he eat? How did his people live out there? I'm sure there's ruins there. Now we're going to look at some more carvings from the same place, and I believe from the same fella. I believe this was a man that had a lot of spare time. He just had to get his thoughts on stone. Here's some more. Why would somebody carve this? Or that? Well, what's the point? Now you see why I'm thinking that the same guy did them all. Figure 20. Large, abstract petroglyph designs between 2 and 3 feet tall, with both lines and circles. Each design fills most of the rock facet on which it occurs. Note the symmetry exhibited. Well, that's what I'm saying. Note the symmetry, note the similarities. And that's why I think that all of these are cut by the same guy. This right here comes from page 39. I'm saying same fella. And this comes from page 40. And I believe it was done by the same guy. But notice the 2 antennae coming out of the top of the head? That's what makes this guy special. My Picasso friend. Anthropomorphic petroglyph figure, approximately 2 feet tall, Growler Mountains, Arizona. Anthropomorphic is a 50-cent word that basically means having human characteristics. In other words, he's got a head, he's got arms, but it's not really, I mean, he's got these things coming out of his left arm, and his right arm is missing some parts and pieces, supposedly, and he's got antennas. And I just love this ancient Picasso that lived in Arizona. My hat's off to him. Now we're looking at page 64, and several things to notice here. This is an incredible petroglyph. Okay, first of all, we're going to see this guy here on the right. He's got the spiral in his chest here. He's got 2 antenna, antler kind of looking things here, and they're saying these are birds flying around them. Whether they are or aren't, I don't know. That appears more like a bird also, one of these. And you see these circles with the lines coming out? We don't know what that is, but there's some more of them here. I wonder if these could be these from a different angle. Appears to be some kind of animal carved in here. And we have snake, snake, snake. There's 3 snakes. And this poor fella here, this handsome guy, he looks more like E.T. Phone Home, doesn't he? And they do, both of them do have 5 fingers. And you see the coloration here, the pattern. This white, the white dots here is what's left of the natural stone. In other words, those right there are not pecked out or pecked through. Now I'm going to slowly scroll up and we'll look at the whole thing. Okay, now let's look at the caption. This is a pair of Barrier Canyon style figures west of Green River, Utah. The anthropomorphs are accompanied by fringed circular objects and snakes, and tiny birds fly around the antennae of the figure on the right. The anthropomorphs about 2 feet tall. Next is page 147. And this comes from Buttress Canyon, Arizona. He's about 2.5 feet tall. And he's got a pointed head here. And I don't know why the schema has all of them from all over the Southwest. They have these broad, squared off shoulders. I don't know if that could be some kind of suit or something. This is also from page 147, and it comes from Cañon del Muerto, which is in northeastern Arizona, still on the Navajo reservation. And here you see that blocked off shoulder pads right here. And what they say is really unusual here is these whatever they are coming into the top of the head and then going out like the left ear on each one of them here. What in the world are those for? Headgear with the element extending from the side of the head is distinctive, and these figures are about 3 feet tall. And this is what should have been a spiral, I would imagine. This comes from page 148, and it's also from northeastern Arizona. We don't know how tall those are, but I imagine they're a couple of feet. Notice the squared off broad shoulders, and these heads are really strange. Really strange. Now we're looking at page 167, and it actually has 4 figures here. This guy here is looking really weird. All kinds of deer or antelope. You see the squared off shoulders, and see this up here? Take me to your leader. But they all have 5 fingers. But that's a strange looking helmet. Why would somebody in ancient times carve that in stone had they not seen it? And this comes from Capitol Reef National Monument in Utah. Largest figure approximately 3 feet tall. That is artisan. This is also on page 167. Elaborate anthropomorphic figures, Southern San Rafael style, at Capitol Reef National Monument, Utah. Figures are approximately 2 feet tall, and these are quite complex here. These guys are, and you'll notice the ornaments here, and the plumage coming out of the top of the head, and the square head, that squared off shoulder. And there's 3 more guys here that you can't hardly see. This comes from page 173. And we're going to see this handsome creature here. He's got the 2 antennas. This one here has also. This one here looks like he's kind of worn. And he's missing an arm here. That's important. And this guy's missing a couple of arms, so is this guy. But they got the broad, squared off shoulder. And notice all of these coming down here. All these ornaments on him. Looks like he's got pants on. Looks like he's got shoes on. He's not barefoot. There's a creature here. And this comes from just north of Vernal, Utah. Here's the next figure from the same page. And you see these guys got antennas, but they don't have any arms. Here's one that's like halfway done. It's got a different shape of a head though. And they obviously have on shoes, but they're missing arms. You notice that broad shoulder there. And I don't think that this was meant to have arms because these 2 guys are so close together. I think if somebody's going to come back and put arms on them, they'd have left more space in between them there. I'm just saying. And here's another one from the same place, Dry Fork Valley in Utah. And you'll notice again, he's got 2 bent over antenna here. And he's got the squared off face. He's got earrings, real nice big lush earrings. And he's got the broad shoulders, all kinds of decorations and ornaments here. Look at all this regalia. That's a handsome creature. This happy fella comes to us on page 202. Large ogre-like being from Cook's Peak. And Cook's Peak is oh gosh, probably about 20 miles north of Deming, New Mexico. Yes. And we're going to blow him up, have a better look at him. And here he is. Unbelievable. Ogre-like, I would say. He's got the 2 little antennas though curling. Some of them are curled, some of them are straight. You've got me. When did the antennas fall off of all these guys? This comes from page 304, and they call it Eagle's Nest, and it's in the Gobernator Phase Masonry Pueblito in Gobernator Canyon drainage. That's New Mexico, and that's on the Navajo Reservation. We're going to look at it here. In the Gobernator District, there are the remains of large masonry citadels with up to 40 rooms that probably provided protection for all the inhabitants in the locality in times of danger. Characteristic of the phase are a number of different pottery types, among which denatite scored and Gobernator polychrome are the most common. Okay, so who were they fighting off? Now we're looking at the Navajo Reservation. Just south of Navajo Dam, there's the Gobernator Canyon right there. This is my buddy Anthony's old stomping grounds here. And here's a close-up of the rock. Now, so they're going to protect each other? Well, I mean, all they got to do is there's a ruin on top of that. How the heck did they do that? Where are you going to go for water? Where do you go to use the bathroom up there? I'm just curious. Fascinating place. I would love to go there someday. This is the next book I'm going to feature, Legacy on Stone by Sally J. Cole. Rock art of the Colorado Plateau and Four Corners region. And look at that frontispiece. The photograph on the front of this book is just spectacular. Look at how busy it is. Let's start over here. We've got a guy that's got one center spike and two curves. He's got large earrings. All of these guys have earrings here. Holding something here. I don't know what that is. And this handsome creature's got appendages coming out of the side, the top of his head. Notice this squared off broad shoulders. This arm here is a little small, but it looks like he's holding something similar to that right there. Here's another guy, looks like he's got horns coming out. Here's another guy that's got spikes and antennas. He looks happy, he's got his arms up. And here's this gruesome creature here. And I would bet that looking at this, that this guy here is pretty tall. I'd say maybe 5 or 6 feet tall. Really good artwork. And this is on page 5. This guy's got 5 spikes coming out the top of his head. He's got the big ears, big floppy ears. Here's another ET phone home head in here too. This guy's got antenna, so does this guy and this guy. This fellow here's very similar to that other one in the other book, isn't it? This comes to us on page 63. It's kind of faint, but you can see this guy here's got 2 really long antenna spikes. Looks kind of gruesome. Got these long bodies. They actually look like they've got a tail here. Anthropomorphs. Got the feet, they're long-toed feet. What kind of creature was this? What vexed the artist to carve these? I'm just asking. Did he have a bad dream? Was he on the peyote buttons? This is on page 64, and you see we have several. There's a little creature here. Cute. Several guys with the spike. Some of them are short, some of them are long. They're everywhere. All over the place. This guy, I guess he didn't have time enough to carve him some spikes. And this is on page 65. Got a couple of creatures over here. Don't know what that is. And you see the swiggles here. Whatever that is. It's on a few. But we got them right here. Really good looking carvings. This comes from page 66. And really strange. They have appendages coming out of the side of his head here, and the side of his neck. If that's his neck, it could be some kind of head or something. And he's got 3 fingers and 3 toes. And he's got the spikes up here. But what in the world is this? I don't know. Why would somebody carve that in stone? Very strange. And I would say it's probably, if that right there is 10 centimeters, that'd probably be just over 3 feet. This comes from page 114, and it's a really busy stone. And you see here, the Butler Wash on the San Juan River. And it's similar to Canyon de Chelly National Monument in Arizona. The figure on the right appears to wear a large mask and is approximately life size. So that would mean these guys here are also life size. Let's blow it up. And you'll notice 4 creatures here. This guy, 2, 3, 4. And there's another one, small one over here. And they have 5 toes, 5 fingers. This guy's got 5 toes. He's the only one you can tell the toes from. And you notice the broad shouldering, the squared off shoulder here. And here we have something coming down into the head and then coming out the left ear, just like we did in the other book. See, something here and then coming out the left ear. What's up with that? Anybody got a clue? And this guy here may have the same problem. And they say that this is a mask. Well, we can tell he's got broad shoulders there. And that comes from page 114. And this is the last I've got to show from this book. It comes from page 149. And here he's happy to see me. Look at that. Really happy. And I've actually got stones from our cave here that resemble this guy here, believe it or not. Kind of a twisted mouth there. Handsome creatures. Now we're going to look at my abstract copies that I just happen to have left over from a fire in '08. And I think this is hilarious. Rock art sites in the American Southwest. Look at this. And ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't scratch the surface. I'd say it's probably 10 times that many. Even if each one of these sites is just covered, 10 times that many would probably be a lot closer to it. What a joke. And here's a handsome creature. This is a drawing of a petroglyph. They call it a Hopi god. A Hopi god. Here's the name. A Hopi god. All right. Now, I'm going to blow him up. Now, if this fella's car broke down in your driveway, would you let him use your phone? That's an expression. He probably have his own cell phone by now. But I'm willing to say that this guy is ugly. But the detail on his ponytail here is pretty good. And he's got a really nice arm. And whatever this is, he's holding something here. I'm saying that's a guy. He's got some kind of tunic here. Incredible carving. This is a nice comparison between 4 different sites. This comes from Arabi, Arizona. This is from Utah, Mesa Verde, and El Paso County, Texas. So that's a wide range of having the same kind of deal. So I'm saying that whoever carved these, the artist saw the same people. It looks like a happy family here. Let's blow it up. And here you see it, and clearly they all have the antenna or the horns, whatever you want to call them. Check out that breast ornament there. Really cool. Strange head though. Well, I guess all of them's heads are kind of strange, isn't it? Some maybe a little bit more than others. Here's some more showing horns, what they're calling horns. This is from Canyon de Chelly area, Arizona. All of these guys got the antennas. This clearly looks like a bubble around this guy's head. It looks like a helmet with 2 antennae coming out of it. Unquestionable. Here's some from California. Petroglyphs, Picasso Range, California. Notice all that busyness coming up out of the head there. So any rock art book that you see from the American Southwest, grab it. Here's a drawing of a Kachina mask that's carved into a rock somewhere in Zuni area of New Mexico. Looks kind of like a space helmet to me, and you'll notice it's got 2 plumages coming out of the top of it. And here's a petroglyph from the Hopi Reservation in northeastern Arizona. And here's a petroglyph, San Cristobal, New Mexico. And I like these earrings. I like those earrings. Here's 3 creatures from the petrified forest. Yep. And this is my last petroglyph that I'm going to show. It also comes from the Hopi Reservation, northeast Arizona. And he kind of looks like some of the stuff we got here in Illinois with the great big ears. Got a little spike here and it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my little take here on petroglyphs and rock art. Some of my favorites. But like I say, it's just endless. I've got several more books that's got rock art in them. But any rock art book from the American Southwest, just pick it up and check them out. They are absolutely outrageous. Thank you.